welcome back. Welcome back. Before I play on and play also the beautiful intro, which I always love the music and the video, I will share what has, been done since the last video, which I think there's been three, and now this is the fourth iteration. There's a lot of advancement. The product is becoming much bigger, and doing it alone, it's going to be a lot of hard work and also a lot of bugs. And there's bugs fixing and there's feature adding at the same time, etc. Especially for next week, I'll be more focused on bugs than anything else than adding features. There's a lot of new features that have been added, a lot of redesigning certain things, and it's just the beginning of things to come as the product evolves. I hope you like what you see. More importantly, I'm looking forward to, share it with you all in the near future, be it on Steam or whatever. But I've been vastly inspired by Myth and some amazing other board games. And from here, I'm only going to advance into other, with the community that I build, into other games that I'm willing to develop and to advance, be it amazing games out there and concepts and ideas. Obviously, can't iterate 100%, but the visual and the concepts and the inspirations are all there. Hope you like what you see. And more importantly, I would love to hear back from your questions and views and criticism. And welcome to Tavern Legends. Now, before I go on, I want to also mention a question that I got. What's the iteration and the concept behind it? So it's very simple when one would it's a bunch of adventures in a tavern, and with the many failed patrons, where everything comes from, they move on and do quests. So I wanted to keep it simple, where there wasn't much, cumbersome adventuring and, wandering around. And God bless, I love those kind of games anyways. But I wanted to keep it simple, where it's based on the tavern. You got an objective, and you go fight, and you level up. You got to gain items, gear, etc. And before I move on, I know I'm talking a lot, so I want you just to know that there's been some features. I'm gonna explain them as we play. I'm gonna stop talking right now. Let's listen to music, and as things come along, I'll explain them. All in-house. I did it. So I just want you to Okay, so just to keep it simple, I had to kind of mute that. Okay, this is a familiar place, and as I said, there will be in the future added two new classes, the Ranger and the Bard. Okay, at level 10, they all change class. They're going to get two options as a class option to go with. So this is the Saint. Think of it as a cleric in D&D world. So, and let's, just to show it, I don't want to recruit it right now. We all know already that you could choose male or female kind of, avatars. And you get 8 options, which is awesome. Either ways, be male or female. Okay. And you can generate random names, or you could just, type your name, as ever as you like. In the future, you'll get titles. It shows your base stats. Okay, and more importantly, it shows you the gear, and that's more clear. Unlike before, it's gonna be some even more modifications here, etc. As I think I'm just gonna have it when you highlight it, it's just gonna pop up here, which makes it much nicer. But either ways, you see it now much clearer, and you could see on the bottom right, which I'll show you more in detail as we get to the tavern. You could upgrade the cards. You know what I mean? And that's something very intriguing. You can only upgrade it based on the tier level of the quest encounters that you're at. So, you can't, unlike in Myth where you find the treasures and items and based on the loot bag, you find the blue. In this case, your equipment and gear, you could upgrade it to epic level. Now, nothing stops from finding other gear. You could find other gear. But again, weapons are upgradable, as you see. So is armor upgradable. And this is the basic worn vest, plus 1 vitality. And it's 4 gold to upgrade it too. And I love the card designs, more clear, nicer, and pretty much more beautiful to look at. And then these are the kind of grayish charcoal kind of items and gear, and they're not upgradable, but they're much, findable, meaning obtainable doing quests and encounters or receivable by certain patrons or achieving certain, achievements would unlock certain kind of treasure. But again, these are one-time items, and meaning that they don't upgrade. They just do what they do. All right. So you could have something. You could have something phenomenal. You could have something like basic as this, which is not bad here. So this is something very, very, very important. So I just wanted you to see that. So let's go to the knight before we decide what we're going to take as a group. Here is his gear, and as you can see, you can upgrade it. It's very much clear to read. It shows the range on the bottom left. Here, I did do a specific change to the knight. You know what I mean? Aside from his shield being upgradable, in Myth originally, it's depending the equipment you use and the gear that give you the benefit. In this case, the shield and the rusted heirloom, or the sword, the primary and the secondary, pretty much mutually bond in the bonuses that they give. I hope that's clear. Okay, so if the shield would give plus attack also, then it would add to the heirloom's attack stat. Okay, but in this case it doesn't. And we know the plus 1 vitality and the stats here. Okay, moving right along. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to choose a knight anyway, so might as well. And let's go for this. This handsome dude. And let's choose him a name. Archibald. Okay, we like that. Okay, so now let's go with a thief. Let's use the thief's items. So again, as you could see, more clear, and the equipment upgrade. And this is another thing, Warren Cape. As you could see, it's a one-time stat. It has the icon on the bottom right. The top right. I don't know if you see that. It will display, in what slot they go to. But this is something very, very important. Helmets, and which would be considered as an accessory, will not be upgradable. Only the armor and the weapons. Those are the only thing upgradable. Okay. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And let's go with the mage, and we're going to choose probably the mage, but here's the equipment for the mage, which is fantastic. And that's the bracers of the magi. I like that. Okay, so let's choose a name, and we're going to choose here a girl. A beautiful, beautiful girl. Oh, I like her. All right. Okay, I like that name. All right. And we got the amazing barbarian. The barbarian doesn't have much gear, but don't think less of them because they're deadly. With range 2 attack from the great sword and 3 die 10 attack and plus 2 damage if you're lucky to roll 2 fury, and you claws the bleed status, which is phenomenal as it is, and it's upgradable, and you can see the range is 2, and the only thing other than equipment it has is the vest, which is like anybody's standard. Okay, now nothing stops it from finding other gear and equipment to equip, and I just like the way this guy. Okay, I'm gonna choose this guy, and let's choose a good name. Aldrich. Okay, I can live with that. And so we have a knight, a mage, a barbarian, a thief, or a cleric. Okay, alright, we need a healer in the group. What do you say? And let's choose a nice looking woman. Alright, I like her. Okay, Cecil. Okay, that was easy. And we are done. Okay, So we already know, for those that are just following this oh, sorry. You could change the bard's music, and there's going to be quite a few of a collection. And you could just leave it on and play it, and the music will be much longer than it is right now. I believe it plays for a good minute, 2 minutes soundtrack. And again, it's all I made in house. Okay, so that is kind of gotten to. Okay, and you could save, you could load, and whatever. So let's overwrite that. Yeah, you want to overwrite that. And okay, so this is all your equipment gear that you obtain through, doing encounters, etc., or you make purchases. Now, this is something very, very important, upgrading equipment. As you advance in tiers, you're able to upgrade, and depending the gears you have. So the knight, has this 3 items that he can upgrade, right? So let me show you. I'm not going to upgrade. It costs 4, but it's not a problem. But right now, just for display, that's what you could do. So you could upgrade this, pretty much the rusted hair limb. It goes from this to this. So the only stat that really changed in this upgrade is the fact that you could diminish the threat, okay? So just to show you that. And again, it goes up to epic tier. I think it has up to 6 upgrades, which is phenomenal. All right. And this goes the same for this. Here you go from this to green, and this becomes, plus 2. And by the way, to upgrade the next thing, it would be 10, 10 gold. No. And here the shield. Let's see if you wanted to upgrade the shield. Okay. So now it went from this to, avoid prone. So, there's some enemies that can make you go prone. At this point, that's pretty much avoided. So let's see for the other ones, actually. What's their upgrade? So the upgrade, and all displays, it actually works if I purchase it, by the way. But I just don't want to do that right now. I just want to show it to you and show you the other things. So here, you could see that her practice wand goes from, nothing changes in that attack sense, but the damage does if she rolls Mystic. All right, which is phenomenal. She has a range of 2. And the vest we already know. Oh, what did I do? Okay. And you could see the third item is not there because you cannot upgrade, as I said, the grayed out or charcoal items that you obtain. And they could be powerful, but in the end, you still can't upgrade them. Again, I closed it, sorry. And for the amazing barbarian, which I find to be phenomenal, he goes from this. So he goes from 3 die 10, remains 3 die 10, but he does 3 damage from 2 if he rolls 2 fury, but he causes bleed 2. So that means the bleed lasts for 2 rounds instead of the ordinary 1 round, which is wow. Okay, and now let's go to her, which is the saint. She pretty much the only upgrade she gets, not a threat or the die 10 for the attack, which she starts with, but she will start with 1 hope. Okay, which is something amazing. I know she has an item that pretty much if she rolls to divinity, she will obtain hope, but this is like hope already by default. She starts on top of her base, so that means instead of starting with 1, she will start with 2, which is amazing. And just like the idea and the concept, I don't know the Acolyte, if you played Myth at all, you'll know that, what in a sense it plays out to be hope. So now that we did that, we didn't take any quests per se, but let's start quests. Now there have been 2 quests added. The farmer and the traveler, it's the friar and the farmer. They give you 1 quest more than the original quest they give you. So they have 2 quests that they provide you, in their storyline. And just like the bartender, who also provides you 2 quests. So we're going to go right now and we're going to play the generic, pretty much. I showed you already some of the new features, and I just mentioned to you that other new features, which is, in a sense, there's 2 more quests added. Okay, but let's go with the bartender, and let's just go. We're gonna grab all the quests we can. We're
Leave
gonna
it
skip
to
all
me.
every story, and we're gonna go normal. We're gonna really go easy, and let's go. And by the way, they kind of share the story. I just removed. Sorry, I removed the story, but they all share
Are you
see,
saying insects took the
they have an
cellar?
audio conversation. But once you take off
Not
the
in.
audio, you
All right, I'll
can't
clear
hear.
the area.
I'm gonna choose normal for all of them. We're just the easy
They
light
don't kill.
way.
What's. Whoa. I'll do it.
I should have taken the cross.
I'll see what I can do.
And this guy just spreads rumors.
Hello there.
And depending when you come, certain
never
points he will
mind what
say
I
different
just said.
things.
Let's
Once
have
you
a
get
drink.
further into the game. So now they all took quests.
That's all the
Oh,
information I have for
okay,
you.
so now, there you go. You have all this quests. It's pretty much phenomenal to start with. Let me take the audio off. Okay, so let me go buy some potion. There's different kind of potion. The art hasn't changed for that, and I will obviously be changing that. Okay, and I don't know why, but I just decided to add this, just to show that you could purchase items, etc. But obviously, you're not going to be able to purchase this. This is the upgradable items. As you could see, what will happen is the blue, cracked great swords, and I don't think I put everything here. The yellow and red, or tiered weapons. But either ways, this gives you an idea of what's to come, which is, I think, wow and phenomenal. Okay, so let me buy this. And you can see the money going down here as I buy it. I spent all my money. Okay, so this is the way it works. You go into your inventory, which makes sense. You'll have 5 because you spent $10 gold, sorry. And you're gonna equip it. So the way you equip it, you put here. So you selected it, and then you select to who you want to give it. So we're gonna give it to the knight, and it tells you who you're giving it to. So if you think you're gonna make a mistake, it says there the name actually the knight, and also it tells you you're giving it to the knight. Okay, so let's give it to here. You see Lavinia, and that's the mage, and then the barbarian Aldrich, and obviously, well, the saint doesn't need it, but Cecil has it, and you know what? I'll give the mage another one, and that's pretty much your equipment, right? It keeps it simple, and let's open this up, and you got all your quests here still. So let's choose something. Farmer, the traveler, the friar, squire. Okay, we're gonna go with the rats, the amazing rats. Okay, so let's see. Let's skip the intros. As you know, there's intros, there's video intros, and those the first time coming, I'm sorry about it. Now you can obviously see already there's something different other than the initiative order that gets rolled first. There's actually traps on the board. There is traps, ladies and gentlemen. That's the new feature, and actually I will fix that. I don't like the many digits. I'll keep it simple to just showing 3 rounds. It lasts for 3 rounds, so if you don't resolve the trap in 3 rounds, well, it's gonna explode, right? And it affects the monsters as much as it affects the characters. So, and you could see more information here. It says fire barrel, and it triggers explosion after 3 rounds, damages 1, range is 2 hexes, and it gives you status burn. And to disarm it, you need to roll a 6 or greater, and if you disarm it, actually, you get 1 XP, which is cool. And as you can see, okay, so this is the items, everything, potions, okay. All right, so let's, very, very important, don't forget the threat level also. Now it's displayed for all characters. It also tells you how many monsters or, of the rats there is on the board. And again, you can always check details. There is, I'm going to explain you even things that I've explained to you before with new features and old features. So here it explains you the threat level. So at any time, any of these characters, and sometimes it's tough to get to that threat level because fights can go. I chose the normal, not hard, so it's going to be very easy. So it's very hard to get to threat level 8, unless I send one out there and let him or her manage everything. But getting to the point, once you reach 8, any of those threat levels reach 8 or greater, then they will unlock the first threat. And think of it as Doom in darkness in Myth, but here it's dynamic. So, and it causes certain events to occur dynamically. So that means once you create and unlock the doom, or in this case, in this game, it's called gloom. Then it will cause a certain effect event, and if you ever go below the threat again, that gloom and doom will just vanish. Okay, but again, if ever there's a second character that unlocks the gloom, or a third or fourth, there's different tiers. Well, at this point, if 4 characters pass the threshold of the threat, pray to whatever gods you have, because then the cycle of events are just going to be ridiculous, and it's just going to be, well, if you wanted a challenge, that will be your challenge. Okay. So that's the one trap, and that's the fire barrel, and this one is the old barrel, and this one is kind of neat. What it does is if you can see, it explodes, and aside from doing the regular damage, it also spawns 3 to 6 spiders. Okay, so hence the old barrel. Okay, it gives you 1 XP, and to disarm it, you need 7 or greater. Okay. And at this point, you could see this is the Saint's turn. Aside from her amazing animation, this is how much hope she has. You could usually figure out how much hope you have if it's accounted properly. Is based on the hope, count here. All right. So this is 1 hope. We'll give 1 hope. She starts with 1 base hope, right? So that will give 2. This will give 3. And this will give 4, and that's it. She doesn't have anywhere else, right? So that's a total of 4, which is correct. And this shows you how many cards you can play, on her turn currently. And you can maximum is 4. Now, the reason why these are grayed out is because they're interrupt cards. Interrupt, you can only play during the monster's turn. You're interrupting the monster's actions. And this action cards that she could play at her turn, and they could be different type of cards. Now, a lot of people said, "Oh, they all look the same." They're not actually the same. There's some attack, there's some healing, there's some all sorts of type of cards. You just have to read and understand, and once you get to play, you'll see more of it. This also here is based on the characters, pretty much abilities or items that they're equipped. So if you remember, the hammer gives her -1 threat of attack, which hence is here if she rolls 1 divine, sorry. And here also this, if she rolls 2, she will get +1 hope, which is right there. I'm sorry it's blurred out because I was looking at that, but that explains that, okay? And she, obviously, we gave her 1 potion, so she has that 1 potion right there. That explains that. This is like any regular game, futures. Okay, so let's see what she wants to do. She can't go far in, but she'll go as much as she can, which is pretty much here. Don't forget, you could zoom in, you could zoom out, and look at the board in a different and better way. So let's see. Rapid advance. Let's see what the barbarian wants to do. Oof. Okay, so he's gonna go a little bit crazy, and he's gonna get their attention. He's gonna try to. Oh, I don't have anything to use right now to give me better odds. So he has only 1 basic die. He rolled a 2. Oh, really? Freaking amazing. Okay, you can see the burn status right there, and that just lovely. Okay. And you know what? He's going to relax for now because he has no reach. And he'll just end his turn. And now it's the knight's turn. We're going to do 1 battle. But I pretty much outlined to you the futures. Now, also another thing. I don't know all by heart. But they will it will show in the enemy, like here. Like here, it has the ability of pack mental. While there are 3 or more riders flanking a character, they're -2 target to attack. This is something very important. So I also this ability or their special ability I put into effect also in this current version. So right now, I mean, ignore this poorly designed card. Don't forget this is not the final design, etc. UI. But the abilities pack mentality while there are 3 or more pretty much disabilities now in effect. So which was never before. And by the book, let's see what I could do for the book. I need something that will make me run into it. Rapid advance I need. There you go. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to try to get this trap here. Let's see. Hopefully I roll better than... Oh, you gotta be joking. I took damage from it on top and also... Okay, there you go. I brought a party. And, okay. You know what? We could do a little attack. Also, unlike before where there were one-time killers, I actually put their proper vitality, okay, which is 2. So the rats have 2 and the spiders obviously have 2, if you noticed. And as you can see here, you can pretty much calculate on the damage, okay. Roll 3 dices, but only 2 were pretty much a success here, okay? And you can see by the card the basic damage. Also, don't forget, the cards are upgradable, right? All cards are upgradable. So, and they're only one time upgradable. So the basics and all the other cards that are future, novices, etc., are all going to be upgradable one-timers. And you use your XP to upgrade. So that will end his turn. And she will come. She does that, she can't use this. That's the problem. If she moves. Rapid advance. Okay, you know what? I'm going to bring her really in. That's going to be dangerous, but as you can see, it says can't use a card because you moved. Okay? So it kind of plays out. You can see the X there. Again, these cards are going to be redesigned. There's no aggressive movement like Myth. Myth had like, I don't know, four if I remember correctly, 4 stages of movement. But and I know Ulysses took it over this, that, etc. and they modified a bit this. But for me, there's only going to be 2. It doesn't show here properly. It's a mistake when I designed the card. There's only 2. There's move or no move. So if you moved, there's a penalty. If you don't move, it is the penalty or benefit, however you want to look at it. Okay? So she's going to end her turn right now. And we're going to get all the monsters going cuckoo. So let's see what happens. We'll go zoom in a little bit here. The barbarian's going to get the heck of everybody here. So they're attacking right now. And you're going to slowly see if a third one gets in, there's going to be the swarm very soon getting an effect. You see the -2 to target, so meaning it's much easier to hit, but you rolled a 2. So missed that one. Okay. Interrupt. So interrupts, like I said before, they're grayed out cards. But now you can pretty much use it, You gain +2 target attack per 1. Okay. Alright, so let's do this. So it's going to need 9, you see, instead of the ordinary 1. So instead of 7, it's going to take 9. Alright. It worked, and now it's my turn to hack and slash. And that's my roll right there, the damage. I am talking fast, but I hope you can follow through. And Incy Bincy Spider here. Coming for me. Oh, block. Good. Okay, so round 2. Okay, so I want to show you something. I don't think there's a reason to play this, but I think the concept is straightforward understanding. So let's show you how powerful the barbarian can be. I'm going to use the whirlwind, but before I do that, actually, I'm going to do berserk. Berserk, what it does, if you can read here, until your next turn, you gain +1 damage. So this kind of ensures, in case he has a bad roll, and -1 target number, so lowers the target number to hit. The drawback, you get 2 threat and you suffer 1 damage. It's worth taking. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so you can see that. All right, and I took the 1 damage also, as you can see that too, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the whirlwind. Look at that, mighty. Look at that. You see that? I don't know if you see that. Oh, bullseye. I can't even show you. We're going to eliminate a lot of enemies here. This works well. Let's go. And you roll for each one. Amazing. It is like major dice chucking. I love it. You can see it go one by one. Oh, choose your destiny. I don't really care for that. All right, that was a slaughter. Oh, you see? There you go. Gloom event. There you go. Heroes take +1 damage from traps, hazards in this encounter. Well, we eliminated all the traps and there's no hazards. So this is pretty much straightforward. And he actually reached it because of the slaughter, right? It made kind of sense. So we could close it. And this gave you actually an opportunity. Even Gloom event started. That's cool. All right, so you can see even the board is getting foggy. I don't know, I did that effect. So you can see a little bit that it kind of got gloomy and doomy. And so let's see, the spider's poison, the rats just give you that. Okay, so you know what, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go after that. But you could see he's already 8, right? So he's at but at this point, I don't care. The threat that they're gonna do isn't gonna be much hurtful to me. The barbarian, that is. I just have to make sure nobody else, Oh, obliteration. You have to love the barbarian. Now he's gonna take this and he's gonna use it, and partially healed, which is good. Doesn't have any other potions. He's gonna just chill for now. And the mage comes, and what she's going to do, because she's been useless, she can at least heal him a bit to the max. There you go. I love that. And let's see what she can do. Well, she moved, so she can't do anything. So she's just going to chill. What is the knight going to do? He can't do much. He's mostly great cards, and he has this attack. But... okay, so alright, that skips that. And what does... oh. Well, you're going to run into situations where you can't do much. Okay, so here, now, +2 the target number, because I moved. It's going to be a little tougher to hit, but hopefully I do some damage. I did 1, that's not enough. As you can see, 6-2, and the target number is 5. Card damage is 1. Path to devotion. Each character can play 1 more. Okay. Invocation. Okay, nothing amazing in that sense. So I'm gonna end turn. Let's hope. All right. All right. Let's see what happens. You see, the gloom effect has vanished. Okay, because the threat level dissipated of the barbarian. Okay, and let's see. Arcane, study, and... okay, you know what? I'm just going to use that. A little too powerful for it, but... it's okay. I heard my buddy right there, but that's okay. And I'm gonna enter right here, and the knight is not gonna do anything because it's useless. I've got to do something about this. The barbarian. No, can't reach. Okay, and you could see there's only one enemy, right? And okay, we're gonna wait for it. Let's skip the turn. And enemy comes, interrupt available, and this will pretty much kill it. There's a little bug, as you can see the sequence is just not properly being followed. But overall, I think aside from the little bugs here and there, and there you go, you got the loot, the reward for ending the battle. And you get 4 XP, 2 gold, and this is the enemy you vanquished. And you see the other quest. And this is the bartender gave you, so you come to the bartender, you tell him, hey buddy, I just finished it. And you get the bonus. So now if you go here, you'll see 4 gold. Okay, and let's see, if you do this, yes. Okay, there you go, it's green now. And not, you don't have enough to upgrade. Okay, hey, I know you don't have to upgrade. I hope you like what you saw. Hopefully I didn't forget any other features. And as things more vastly advance, and the bugs are bugs and they're going to get fixed. And I hope you like it. And any comments, questions, thoughts as things advance. And I'm looking forward to the next update. Have a beautiful weekend, and thank you.